Okay, Matt, whenever you're ready.
Great, David. That's David Van Siclen, AMCC's Operations Director, and I'm Matt Bogosian, Executive Director of AMCC. Good morning. It's June 30th, 2025. This is AMCC's National 30-minute call, same time every Monday, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, 9:30 Mountain, and 8:30 Pacific. And 4th of July week. Happy 4th of July week. Wherever you are, please be careful with the heat. Heard a news report about travel delays extraordinaire. So, whatever you have planned, safety and happiness to you this week. That's, of course, the two parts that are in the Declaration of Independence, the North Star of the American Project, safety and happiness. So, uh, that's something we're going to celebrate on Friday. I was reading about the founders recently. They were consumed by making smarter products that solve problems and improve the human condition. And in similar categories, like what we're doing here, defense, energy, transportation, ag, communications, IT, and health. And Ben Franklin in particular, as looking through that lens and what his focus on making better priority products with his inventions, totally impressive. Lightning rod, Franklin stove, lightning rod on energy, Franklin stove on energy, bifocals on communications, flexible catheter, the health zone, the odometer, transportation and postal service, many others. And, we're in this much more complex and competitive world. We find ourselves far too fragmented to meet the scope of the challenges this century. So that's one of the reasons why we meet up here every Monday, same time every week, every Monday, every week, every month, every year, doing the five things that are going to make things better. One, building the relationships, having a common evidence-based narrative, both of which get us better strategies, better actions, and ultimately what we need to do is create better structures to thrive in this century. So that's where we're headed: building relationships, common narrative, making better strategies and actions toward better structures. So we need to make and sustain priority product production, and within those better structures, we all need more meaningful integrated data that gives us far more insight about the gaps in our regional manufacturing ecosystems of support, which is why we co-created the MCEM project, Manufacturing Community Ecosystem Metrics Project, with our good friends at NIST and others in key manufacturing related agencies like DoD, DOE, SBA, EDA, NSF, Labor, et cetera. Our friends at the Argonne National Laboratory, Deloitte, and others are part of that project. And you can read more about that on our website, the MCEM project. And we put in the AMCC update every week, the 1.0 version of the playbook, which we hope you use and give us feedback on. It's an open source tool we are hoping to co-create. So we don't have the tool, we got a playbook. We're trying to co-create this tool. And it's important work. I think I said last week, I just interviewed Sue Helper, one of the country's leading economists, on this work that we're all doing and the need for a MCEM tool and a continuing to develop playbook. So we got the 1.0 version playbook, but we need your good input continuously on that, and so on. One of the things, and that's why we're excited we have a presentation today. One of our ethos is relationship building, and we're looking to partner with others doing similar kind of work. Back to we're fragmented in this country, right? And that's how we met our new friends at the Reimagine Appalachia, doing similar work as this MCEM tool and playbook. And they're like us, they don't want to reinvent the wheel. So I'm excited about their presentation today, about their story map. But before that, always want to highlight, there's just tons of important information about the manufacturing ecosystem of support every week in the AMCC update. We've got events in there, tools, funding, articles. It's like a no-brainer. Mine it, use it for your own networks. We don't care, so long as you're leaning forward to make a difference. That's the point of this. So, and then of course, send us information that we can elevate on all of those fronts. Events, tools, funding, articles. We do as much as we can every week virtually with this 30-minute call and with the AMCC update newsletter at the end of the week. But we also need to loop in where we can in-person events, because we all know, of course, in-person is stronger. And we have some of those opportunities coming up with the Manufacturing Momentum Summit and more. And you read about that in the AMCC update. So yeah, excited about our Reimagine Appalachia presenters. But as we do every week before that, we want to have a couple of you introduce yourselves and where you are in the ecosystem of support. If you're new, it's a good time to chime in, raise your hand. If it's been a while, it's a good time to reintroduce yourself. Get in, the water's warm, just a couple of folks. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Matt,
Buckley,
just to jump in real quick, two pieces of information. First of all,
who are you and where are you, sir?
I'm Buckley Brinkman. I'm sitting in the heart of God's country in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm with the Wisconsin MEP. So some news on the MEP network. We got some positive news this week as the centers with July renewal dates were actually renewed for a full year. They received funding for a full year, and they also received a 5-year agreement from the Department of Commerce. It doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. We still have half of our centers that are coming due on October 1st that have no funding as of this point. And we have a quarter of our centers on January 1st, which are all recompete centers that have heard nothing about the competition and certainly nothing about funding. So when you're talking to your representatives, it's still important to let them know about the value of the MEP to your region as we go through this. And it's been all of your support in the past that got us to this point. So that's point one.
Thank you, Buckley. That's promising news. And for those that are new or not that familiar with the multi-decade federal investment in helping our manufacturers, the Manufacturing Extension Partnership Program through the Federal Department of Commerce's NIST, has been, one key critical piece of the manufacturing ecosystem of support, and it's been unclear and uncertain whether or not there's going to be a continuing commitment to that in this administration. And many of us and you and all of this folks have been expressing kind of the evidence-based importance of that part of the ecosystem of support. And hopefully this is a great sign that long-standing investment is going to continue, because, they scoreboard like, we're not gonna have a thriving manufacturing cornerstone in this country to make smarter products that solve problems and improve the human condition unless our pool of 244,000 manufacturers around the country have a strong ecosystem of support. So thanks, Buckley, for that. And thanks for always bringing that forward. Buckley serves on our advisory board. We're very grateful for that, in addition to his normal duties. Any other folks? A couple of quick. Beatrice, where are you? Tell folks, please introduce yourself, talking about MEPs and yeah.
So hi everyone, I'm Beatriz Gutierrez. I'm the CEO and Executive Director of the MEP Center in Connecticut. We are a July renewal. And as Buckley said, we did get a letter saying that there is an intent to, in a contract for 1 year, which is phenomenal. Where the challenge comes is there's language also that indicates that next year this may stop again. So I second what Buckley said and encourage everyone to keep it in the radar. Part of the challenge, if we let these centers go, is that it not only comes from federal money, but it requires a match. So it's a double whammy that we're hearing our manufacturers by reducing the support to them directly. And each center does work in a different way, but for the most part, we're the only ones that really have people in the field going and knocking on doors. So particularly the small ones that don't receive a lot of internal help, don't have resources. But thank you everyone for their support. We are excited to go for one more year. But as we say, the fight is not over yet. So.
No, yeah, we're just warming up, Beatrice. Thank you so much. Yeah, so let's transition to our friends at Reimagine Appalachia. And so, we've got Wendy Patton and Stephen Herzenberg and Bakash Gupta here. So, Wendy, let me turn it over to you, and looking forward to aligning our interests here. Yeah. Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much, Matt. Okay, have I unmuted myself? Can you hear me now?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. We're really grateful for the opportunity to meet with you today. We have been busy putting together backgrounder on the region we focus on, North Central Appalachia. We have about a 10 to 15 minute presentation, and we're really looking forward to learning from you in the discussion afterwards. Steve, our co-director, will join us. Bakash Gupta, our data researcher, has put this story map together, and I'm going to plunge right in. Okay, North Central Appalachia is built for the clean economy. It is evolving to build the economy of the future. Rich deposits of coal provided the energy that fueled the rise of basic manufacturing industries in the United States. North Central Appalachia led the nation in the basic industries, producing the metals, machinery, brick, glass, rubber, cement, plastics, and more. As early as the 1920s, jobs in coal mining were already declining, but the manufacturing industries remained strong. This does not mean that deindustrialization did not affect the region. It did. But we found the share of manufacturing employment in North Central Appalachia is higher than typical for the nation and has been for the last 25 years. Reimagine Appalachia focuses on the 210 counties of 6 states: Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, West Virginia, New York, and Maryland. These counties are under the jurisdiction of the Appalachian Regional Commission. They're shown in dark green here on the map. We analyzed the manufacturing sector of the region using the location quotient, the economic formula that compares the share of employment in a particular industry within a region, in this case a county, and the 210 county region, with the share of employment in that industry in a larger region like the nation. We found the 4 industrial states of North Central Appalachia, that's Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania, have had employment in manufacturing about a third more concentrated than average. Over the last 25 years, it's been 50% more concentrated in Ohio and Kentucky. The historic manufacturing base that shaped essential assets for the future. This chart gives a 30,000-foot overview of the manufacturing economy of the region. You'll see the concentration of jobs in consumer products, that's NAICS code 31, is about the same as in the nation, but it's much higher in production of building and construction materials, that's NAICS codes 32, as well as in metals and durable goods, NAICS code 33. A more granular analysis revealed strengths in selected industries. In this chart, we looked at industries defined by 3-digit NAICS codes. The 210 county region of Appalachia is in dark green on the right. If you look at primary metals, wood products, and plastics, you'll see great concentration of jobs, between 2 and 3 times as high as compared to the nation in those important sectors. Of the 21 manufacturing sectors analyzed, in fact, the Appalachian counties have an average or higher share of employment in 14 manufacturing industries. Here's how those sectors are evolving into the clean tech industries of the future. New investment has maintained the region's strength in metal production and fabrication. The strength of the wood product manufacturing sector supports employment almost 3 times as concentrated as in the nation. This foundation facilitates the evolution of new products like mass timber, which can help reduce carbon emissions of the built environment. The concentration of employment in plastics and rubber production is twice as high as typical in the nation. The supply chain for bio feedstock for the plastic industry is slowly developing, helped by federal programs. This is the growth component of the plastics industry and will make the industry more sustainable. There are many evolving connections between basic manufacturing and industries of North Central Appalachia and the emerging clean tech economy. And Bakash will review our network diagram on these connections. Bakash?
Let's open this data visualization piece in a new tab for better viewing. So this is a radial network diagram, and it offers an illustrative, non-comprehensive look at how North Central Appalachia's strongest manufacturer sectors in blue can connect to the emerging green economy sectors in green and the specific products and technologies in pink. For example, if I hover above primary metal, I can see how this industry, where the region holds a competitive strength, can contribute to 7 different green sectors that we have identified here, including green steel, solar panels, wind turbines. Similarly, if I hover above energy storage, we can see how North Central Appalachia's 3 competitive industry, primary metal, chemical, electrical equipment, can play a role in this new economic sectors. And in the process, we can produce products and technologies such as grid battery storage or lithium-ion batteries. This serves as a reminder that Appalachia isn't starting from zero, that the connections to the future are already here with us.
A regional economy is built on local economies. Reimagine members have an interest in local economies that incorporate new clean technologies, renewable energy, and other green industries that address climate change and environmental degradation while creating well-paid jobs for Appalachians. This map highlights where those industries will grow. It shows where manufacturing employment is the strongest, as indicated by the darker shades of blue, which spread across most of the region. A closer look by industry and county reveals strengths particular to specific counties. You can see in the first map that the region has lost its once mighty strength in textile production and textile product mills, although that strength lingers in specific areas and specific counties. You move over to wood products, scrolling across, this really highlights the strong wood production industry of West Virginia, where the green counties indicate a much higher than average concentration of employment in this manufacturing sector. West Virginia may not be that high in other types of manufacturing, although it does manufacture a lot of fabricated metal and parts and components, but it's very concentrated in wood product manufacturing, and Pennsylvania is as well. You can scroll on across in this section of our story map, which you'll get afterwards, and see the various industries and where within the region they are concentrated. Bakash has a dashboard that we use to look at manufacturing employment more closely by industry and location. He'll present that.
I'll again open this one in a new tab, so we have a better viewing, more immersive experience. So this is an interactive sunburst chart, and it gives us a layered top-down view of manufacturing in North Central Appalachia, beginning at the state level and drilling down to counties and finally revealing industry-specific data. This dashboard includes information for 210 counties across 6 Appalachian states and helps answer key questions such as where are the manufacturing jobs located, which state leads in employment, and how are the jobs distributed across the region. Let's walk through an example. Suppose I want to explore how the Appalachian region of Pennsylvania is doing in manufacturing. Right away, I mean, with this chart, we can see that Pennsylvania has the largest share of manufacturing employment in the region, with about over 250,000 people. So just hovering over the state shows the total number of manufacturing jobs. It accounts for. Ohio comes second with about 90,000 jobs in manufacturing. Clicking on Pennsylvania opens up its Appalachian counties, allowing me to choose, let's say here, Allegheny County. And that in turns, that selection opens up again to show all the manufacturing sectors within the specific county. So let's say I'm interested here in computer and electronic product manufacturing. Just hovering above the outer ring, it allows me to get the industry information, the number of jobs in that sector, location quotient, which is just psi of what is typical. At any point, you can return to the main chart by clicking the back arrow, and you can use this drop-down feature here. For example, I can choose again computer and electronic product manufacturing, and what it does is that it updates the chart to show the sector that is distributed across all states and counties in the region. And here again, we can see Pennsylvania doing the heavy lifting in this industry, and Allegheny County, we found that it had 4,000 jobs. It so happens that it is the county that employs most people in this sector. So overall, this mini dashboard serves as a useful tool to explore the depth and distribution of manufacturing jobs across different geographies and sectors within the Appalachian portion of the 6-state region.
Analysis of the regional economy is, of course, a summation of data from the places where manufacturing happens, in plants and mills where people go to work every day and produce the goods we rely on in our everyday lives. Our map here gives more qualitative information on places, profiling each state and the industrial composition in 2 counties, one with the most manufacturing and one with the least. The foundation of the old economy is creating assets for new markets and economic activities. Shuttered coal plant sites are becoming industrial parks with copious acreage, industrial zoning, heavy electrical connections, access to water, rail, air, and road transportation, and located in places with skilled workers. The shuttered coal plant site offers an ideal location for circular manufacturing. Dozens of retired coal plant sites in Appalachia provide unique opportunities for the efficient configuration of industrial production in a net zero or eco-industrial park, like the eco-industrial park of the Industrial Commons in North Carolina. In conclusion, we sought to answer 2 questions in our analysis. One, given the region's competitiveness in a given industry, what role can the industry play in the new clean economy? And 2, are there new and growing markets where the industry can grow? And if so, what steps are needed to turn that potential into a reality? As encouraging as these findings are, they call for further research. We are engaged in the further research looking at economic complexity and feasibility within the region and within counties within the region. So this is our summation. It's our overview of the regional economy. From here, we have looked at several specific sectors, and we look forward to talking with you about what we've got here. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, Wendy. Bakash, fantastic. Bakash, I love that spider graph. And I'm thinking how, if at all, I suspect you can do a crosswalk between that spider graph and the specific locations, like take a county in Pennsylvania, right? The transition, right? Because we need to all help. The ecosystem of support needs to help enable the transition, from one industry to another. Super important insights. So we're excited to work with you guys. We have Joe Mariani here from Deloitte, who's part of their government insights team, and he's part of our MCEM work with all the federal agencies. And I suspect we'll be inviting you into that group at some point to learn more about what you're doing there. I see Jim had a question there in the chat about Bakash, about the sources. Do you want to answer that real quick?
Yeah, so we had the proprietary data for all this analysis. You have the government sources data, but the information on employment and location quotient can be suppressed at the county level. So we relied on a proprietary data, and this all data comes from year 2022.
And then Dean's got a question there about the visualization tool. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a very cool visualization tool. It's called Floris. and there are like other tools such as data wrapper to, you just import the data set, and then you could choose different ways to visualize the data. So useful tool. I can write that in the chat.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome. Other questions? Oh, David dropped that into the chat. Thanks, David. So what would be interesting to me, I mean, one thread that's interesting here is like bringing back a use case, how like maybe, within one county, how, if at all, a ecosystem of support in a particular region has utilized this tool. I think that would be informative as we go forward, either for the whole AMCC community on a Monday call or whatever. Maybe we have a special webinar, or maybe just in the discussion with our separate MCEM collaboration group. But anyway, just thinking out loud, Wendy, Bakash, yeah, that'll be important. There's a couple of new messages here. Oh, Don Ufford. Yeah, NIST is asking for input on the next national strategy for advanced manufacturing. Yeah, that's something we're all working on. Yay. Thumbs up, Don. Do you want to speak to that real quick? We got a couple of minutes. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, just a quick one. Thank you, Matt. Everybody will notice at that link that I put in there for the Federal Register that you all have an opportunity yourselves and or companies or anybody associated with manufacturing to provide input via that request for information at that link in the Federal Register. We will be putting together the next national strategy for advanced manufacturing later this year. And the first step is to go out and ask for information. So we've already started to go to some national events and share that to make sure we get input from stakeholders. And we just wanted to share that with you all here today. And we'll, through Matt and Dave, we'll make sure that we put out a few more reminders. Thank you.
Deadline, Don, deadlines. What's the deadline?
Deadline September.
September. All right, cool. So we've got time, folks. So we're definitely going to submit one, on behalf of the AMCC family here. But to Don's point, the more, bottom up this is from your own perch, I think that would add value to developing it. It's going to take a village, folks, and your input's critical on all of this.
Hey, Matt, I think we might have a quick word from Stephen Herzenberg before
please.
we wrap up today.
Hi, Stephen. Thank you.
Just very quickly, Steve Herzenberg, Keystone Research Center and co-director of Reimagine Appalachia. I just want to underscore one thing Wendy said and ask folks to contact us if they can help. We are trying to go into the complexity and feasibility literature. Bkash is sort of soldiering forward somewhat on his own. So if there are people in this call or people you're networked with who you think have managed to use the measures of complexity and feasibility that Brookings and others like RMI have used to some extent, and have figured out how to apply those in a particular place, and figured out how to make those somewhat complicated mathematically indicators accessible people, please reach out to me. My information is in the chat, to Bkash and to Wendy. Thank you. That's it.
Oh, no, thanks, Steve, and thanks, David. Appreciate all of you guys here. If you're new to this call, you'll know that we keep it right at a half hour because that's an important continuity thread to keep folks together. You guys are doing the doing. Really appreciate your teamwork, your leadership, and have a great 4th of July weekend. And we'll see you next Monday and share this information and what's in the AMCC update. Take good care. Be safe.